everyone, thank you so much for watching Mommy Did You Know? So for today's video, we're going to talk about 10 money saving tips that you can use to help improve your family's financing. So some of these topics will be how to set goals, the difference between short-term and long-term goals. We're also going to discuss different ways to save money, different ways to organize your budget, how to tweak your budget as well once you make it, the changes that you have to make as appropriate, and I just know that this will be such a blessing for your family. Make sure that you subscribe. The button is on the bottom over there. It's also on the video in a very small little button. You'll be able to see it. Make sure that you subscribe. Now, before you start planning your budget and all these lifestyle choices, it's very important that you sit down with your family and you start making some goals. Now, that's really important. Goals basically are divided into short-term and long-term goals, and you should start out with at least having one short-term and one long-term goal. Short-term goals are goals that you can achieve between 1 month and 1 year. These are really important because they do a lot of your goals about saving money for a project or saving money for a vacation. So these are really important to do. Long-term goals take a little bit longer. They're about 5 years or more, and they require a lot of investment and of course lifestyle changes. But both of these will affect you greatly as a household. So it's important for everyone to just be on board. The first step is to establish these goals, and I just want to give you some characteristics of goals as well, because it's really important. Your goal should be realistic, it should be specific, and it should be measurable. And of course, measurable in duration as well as quantity. And of course, it has to be achievable for you, because you can't set something so high. I'm gonna save $1 million in a year. That would be wonderful. If I can save $1 million in a year, oh man, that would be fantastic. But that's not really realistic. Although it is measurable and it is specific, it's not realistic. So realistic for me would be, let's say a short-term goal would be to set up an emergency fund of $1,000 in 6 months. Now that's realistic, specific, and measurable. I can measure it from my bank account. Yeah, if I have $1,000 in my bank account in 6 months, that's measurable and it is specific. And then at least it has a duration as well, so that's really important. Other short-term goals can be to pay off your highest interest rate credit card in 3 months. Now that's really great to be able to pay off your highest rate credit cards. For me, I have some credit card debt. So for me, one of my short-term goals is to pay off my highest interest rate credit card within this next year. So of course, everybody is specific, everybody's different, and what works for your family won't necessarily work for every family. Other short-term goals can be, let's say, to save up money for a trip. I would like to save $500 for a Disney trip that I want to take in 3 months. That's fantastic. That is a wonderful short-term goal. Now you can even write down below on the comments, what are some of your short-term goals? And then of course we have long-term goals. Long-term goals are a lot more sacrifice. Long-term goals are something that will take you some time, sometimes 5 years or more. Some long-term goals include increasing your retirement contribution annually by 2%, let's say, to a total of 10% of my annual income in 10 years. Now that is a long-term goal. It's great to be able to contribute to your retirement account, and actually you get a lot of tax write-offs as well, and it really helps you overall. Let's say you want to pay off your mortgage in 15 years. That's wonderful. Or becoming debt-free in 5 years. That's actually our goal, is to become debt-free in 5 years. I have credit cards, and one of our short-term goals, I want to pay off 1 credit card every single year for 3 credit cards. So I'm going to say, okay, the first year I'm going to pay off 1, my second year I'm going to pay off my other, and the third year I'm going to pay off my third, until in 3 years I'm going to be credit card debt free. And then within 5 years, I want to pay off my loans and other things like that. So of course, we have those goals in mind. Now your next step is actually something that a lot of people have trouble with, but it's to change your mind and change your perspective. So many times you think about the ways that you failed in the past, or you tried and failed in the past, and that really gets in the way of what you're doing right now. So what I want you to do is don't think about the ways that you've tried and failed in the past. What I want you to do is think about the ways that you've learned that you can use this right now, because a lot of times you can be your own worst enemy. So what I want you to do is learn from what you have done in the past, learn from your mistakes. Don't focus on what you've tried and failed, but instead focus on the ways that you can learn how to change your situation. Now, the next step is to create a budget for your family. Now, just like before, it's good to do your budget together as a family. And for making my budget, I follow Dave Ramsey's zero-based budget. Now, it's really great. I have a link to it in my description, so be sure to check it out. And then in his system, you just basically take all of your income, you list all of your expenses, and then your income minus expenses should equal 0. That means every dollar is accounted for, and you can tweak it as you need, but at least every dollar is accounted for. So that makes it very easy and very manageable and realistic for a lot of people as well. He has so many different budget sheets, he has forms, there's even apps for the phone and the computer. And for me, I took Financial Peace University. If you took it, it is fantastic. It really inspires you. And I have in my description, I have some information about those as well, and some books that he has. And he's just such an inspirational person when it comes to how to help your family get on track with their finances. And then another thing that a lot of people don't realize to help with these money saving tips is to reach out to your community. See what your community is offering in terms of resources. Now, these are really important. There's nothing wrong for researching what your community has to offer to save you money. Sometimes if you go to your health department, they can offer you information about Medicaid, WIC, food stamps, low-cost health insurance, and all these are so important. So definitely check with your health department. You can also check with some community programs that you have. I know that Children's Services Council, Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, they've been fantastic. And even a lot of people don't realize that your hospital has some programs too. So many times my hospital has information about telehealth visits for special occasions, just handing out flyers for food pantries and health fairs, free health visits for certain things. And it's just very, very helpful to keep track of what your community has done. Another big tip that I can give you to help save you money is use free apps to help you stay organized. This is really a great way to be able to stick to your budget. For me, I use a free app called Bills Monitor Pro. Basically, what it does is it plans your bills, so you can actually, on your calendar, you can say, all right, I'm gonna pay this bill, and then you can indicate when you pay it. You can even say which ones are on auto pay, whatever you call it, where they deduct it from your bank. And this for me has been so helpful. So these actually organize your bills very nicely. And one thing that I did actually to organize, because that's the type of person that I am, is I actually talked to all the companies to put my due dates on specific days. So for me, I pay all of my bills on the 1st and the 15th. So what I did was I actually listed all of my bills, and then I divided them so that I pay half the amount on the 1st, and then I pay half of the amount on the 15th. And I divided my bills appropriately. I actually called the different companies as well, and surprisingly, they were really understanding. So I just said, hey, I'm trying to organize my bills. Is it okay if I can change my due dates to the 15th or the 1st? And they completely understood, especially for the facts of budgeting. They want you to pay your bills. So of course, they're going to let you change your due dates. Some of them, like Comcast, they'll have specific days, but you just pick the day that's closest to the day that you want to work with. And then another app that I'm using now, actually, that I was surprised that it worked so well, is Hurdler. And I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's like Hurdler, whatever you pronounce it by. It's a free app with some pro extras that you can purchase, and this is great if you have your own business, or you have a little side business, side hustle, or you're an independent contractor. What I love about it is that it automatically tracks your expenses straight from your bank account, which is fantastic. So on the app, it has all my bank account, all the expenses, and I can indicate it if this is a business or if this is a home expense. Now, if this is a business expense, it actually goes into this year-end summary that I can print out when I do my taxes. So for me, starting my own business, I just started it. It's Mommy Did You Know, LLC, obviously. And for me, one of my greatest fears was, how am I going to be able to manage my taxes now that I'm an independent contractor, I'm a business owner? Because before I always had W-2s. So for this was just whoosh, like a load off of me completely. So if you are a business owner, independent contractor, definitely try out this app. It has a pro version as well that it's $70 for the year, but it comes with the automatic tracking. It even tracks your driving, which was fantastic. I'm gonna talk about something that's a little personal, but it is how we decided to stop using credit cards. Now, credit cards was one of the biggest problems that me and my husband had when it came to our finances, and it was one of the hardest decisions we ever made, was to stop using credit cards. And at first I felt, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was not easy. You know, some people are like, oh yeah, I went through this, I stopped using credit cards and it was fantastic. The first few weeks, even months, I felt debilitated. I mean, I didn't even realize some of the stuff I need credit cards for. But I'm gonna be honest and say I had a lot of credit card debt. We had about $20,000 in credit card debt. And the problem that we had was that if you have so much, it's like, okay, let me put 100 here, let me put 200 here, and then I would be paying off my credit cards, and then I would just be putting more back on. So we started this journey about a year ago, trying to get out of debt with these 3 credit cards. And I'm so happy that last month we paid off our very first credit card that had over $7,000 on it. And the key really was to stop using the credit cards altogether. We even stopped using it for hotels. The only downside is sometimes if you're not using a credit card, you sometimes have to budget for an extra deposit. Usually it's between $50 to $200, but it's really good to call your hotel in advance and ask them what their policy is. That way you can understand it, and you can expect it, and you can budget for it as appropriate. Another one of my big money saving tips is to plan your meals. I know that this is important because this is also the thing that I have the most trouble with. I'm married with 2 small kids, and you know how it is, and I have a full-time job, I'm a nurse. In addition, we have the church, my husband's the pastor, and I just started Mommy Did You Know. Let's say I'm a very busy mom, pastor's wife, nurse, entrepreneur woman, and it can be so easy to just grab McDonald's sometimes on the way home and call it a day. But planning your meals is one of the best ways that you can save money for your family. Even at McDonald's or Wendy's, you don't realize it, but then all of a sudden you come out and you just spent $30, $40 on McDonald's. But if you can plan your meals by organizing your meals for the week, or even budgeting how many times you are willing to eat out, I know it'll really help you out. And every family has different needs. You just discuss them with what works for your family and your schedule. I know that Publix has really easy prepared seasoned meats and meals that all I have to do is stick it in the oven, and it's really easy. It costs like between $6 to $10. And all you have to do is put it in the oven, and they have sides in that section too. So it works really well for the days that I just need something really fast. And then another thing you can do is shop smart. This sounds like a given, but it really is one of the most effective ways to save money, just by being smart about your purchases. Now there's 3 things that you can focus on to start. One is to shop around for the best price, especially for your larger purchases. It is so important to compare your prices. You can even negotiate sometimes to get a price that fits your budget. And then, of course, you want to prioritize your needs over your wants. You want to understand the importance of delayed gratification, get what you need first, and then with whatever is left over, you can budget for your wants. But of course, you want your needs. And then there's coupons and discounts. There's programs like Groupon. And of course, you want to take advantage of all of these online discount programs. That's actually my next money saving tip, is take advantage of online discount programs. For me, I love Amazon Family, and there's a link in the description as well for a free trial for Amazon Family. One thing that I really like that they have is 20% off diapers and baby food. They have something called Subscribe and Save, which basically you can order for items that you purchase anyways. Let's say you purchase diapers, wipes, formula, baby food, whatever it might be, and you want to have it every month or every 3 months. You can put it on Subscribe and Save, so it will come to your house and you can actually get discounts on those items that will be way less for what you pay in the store, and you don't even have to come out of the store. And then of course there's Amazon family coupons, there's free 2-day shipping, there's Prime Video, there's access to music and photos, and you even get Kindle books every single month, which is really, really cool. And then of course you get a free baby registry welcome box if you were to create a baby registry with them. And then sometimes people don't want to get the Amazon Prime because they want more discounts for it. And if you are a student or even an EBT card holder, you can actually get discounts on Amazon Prime. So students actually get 6 months free, so they actually pay half, believe it or not. And my last and final tip is actually very, very, very important, because once you make your budget and you make your goals, you have to revisit your expenses and revise your budget as necessary. You can't create your budget and just say, okay, I'm done, and then once things start coming at you and things start changing, and you never change your budget. Now, none of my money saving tips will work if you cannot stick to your budget. So your follow-up is actually really essential. As time progresses, you will find that parts of your budget don't really fit into your lifestyle anymore. And when things change, you have to change your budget right away. It's important to stick to the zero-based budget system that we were talking about earlier. And then once you put something in one part of your budget, you have to take it out of another. So that's really the key. So let's say you say, all right, I budget this much for my groceries, but it's not enough. Okay, well, you can put more into your groceries and take out of your savings for your Disney World trip or your entertainment. So at least if you have any decisions in your life, you can assess the impact and change it as you need. Your budget may have worked for 1 year, and then you need to change it as you progress. Maybe you increased your expenses, maybe you lost the job, you got a new baby, or sometimes it's something good. You got a promotion, you multiplied your income streams. Whatever the reason, you need to be flexible with your budget and change it as necessary. I really hope that my money saving tips will help improve your family's finances and set you up on the road to success. If you have any personal experiences or thoughts, you can always comment below. I would love to hear what you guys are going through and ways that you have overcome your financial difficulties. We really support each other, and I would love to hear from you. Make sure that you subscribe and join the YouTube family. I have so many videos that will really be a blessing to you and your family.